going to go 1, 2, 3, enter. Collective down, right pedal, nice and smooth, just like that. Oh, that was sweet. Here comes the RPM, so let's raise it up just a little bit. Got about 75, which is fine. I'm going to raise a little more collective.
Welcome to day 82, Coffee with Kenny. I've got mine.
And I've got mine.
All right, that little clip at the beginning, we're going to show you the rest of that flight just in a very short minute here. Just hear us out real quick. I want to introduce you to my helicopter land ground school member that's here. Drove 4 hours yesterday to get here. Give us a quick intro.
My name is Brian Chalicombe. I drove in from Peoria yesterday. It took about 4 hours to get here to come fly with Kenny in the Enstrom. I've really enjoyed the couple flights we've taken so far, and we're going to fly again this morning. The Enstrom is a different animal than the R-22 and the R-44 that I've got 60 hours in between them. Boy, I thought that the throttle manipulation, I was pretty apprehensive about that, and it's really no big deal. It's very little manipulation that has to be done to keep the RPMs in the green. Back to you.
Awesome, and I'm glad he brought that up because we're going to play the full video for you to see someone going with R-22, R-44 time, first flight in the Enstrom. Only thing I edit out is just dead space. Our entire flight is in the rest of the video. You didn't have to edit out any foul language or anything. Didn't say anything bad. I was able to leave everything in. And I want you to watch the whole video if you're interested. But I like what Brian said about so many people have questions about the throttle. And if they've flown in a Governor, they're worried about the throttle. Now, I was having a conversation the other day with someone about this, and they're like, oh, but they kept making such a big deal out of the throttle. And I said, look, in the Enstrom, it's not a big deal. Because you've never flown one, don't be so intimidated about it. The correlator is so good in this thing. And this is a 1983 model here that we're flying. Still, best running, strongest, smoothest. It's a beast. And a cream puff all at the same time. And you'll see in the video, and every time I move the throttle, I say it so that Brian knows when I'm helping him out with it just a little bit. And you'll see that it's very, very little bit. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying our content, and click the bell when you subscribe. We just hit 17,000 subscribers, and I've got to thank everyone for that. I got to thank Brian for coming out, driving all the way up here. We've had a blast yesterday and last night. We went out for a little bit, had a couple adult beverages. That was a good time. Can I say that on TV? I mean on YouTube. So I got to thank Brian. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me out, Kenny. It's been great. Looking forward to this flight right now.
Awesome. So maybe we'll film a little bit while we're out today, see what other kind of cool stuff we can bring up for you. But subscribe, like, please comment down below. Ask your questions about the Enstrom, transitioning from another aircraft to the Enstrom. And we'll see you at the end of the video.
1, 2, 3. Take 2. All right. I'll even let you lift this thing up. So whenever you get situated and you're ready, and once you're back on the controls, okay, I'm going to let you monkey with the throttle a little bit. I'll stay there right there with you. But what I want you to do when you're ready is just start increasing the throttle until we get up to about 2,300 on the RPM.
Okay. Back on the controls.
And just take your time, nice and smooth, gently roll it. And after we get to 23, we'll stop. And we're going to start to raise the collective. And when we do, the correlator will actually increase the throttle for us. So we don't have to do a lot of throttle work. And I'm just going to kind of talk you through it so you'll see how we do it.
Cool.
I got her set pretty stiff, so, but that helps you once you're flying. If it's nice and stiff, it's easier to fly.
Yeah.
That's good in that range.
There.
Yep, start raising your collective and do your normal pickup the way you're trained to do a pickup.
Okay.
And just raise collective, and if we need to adjust the throttle, we will. But the correlator is going to do most of it. See, like right now, you're just lifted straight up, not moving the throttle, not moving the throttle. But when we get to the green, we might have to roll back just a little bit because it has a tendency to go too high.
Okay,
there we go. And just ignore that bounce and just do your two-step process the way you would normally do it. I'm rolling the throttle back a little bit.
Okay.
And there you are, back to the hover. All right, so just take your time, hover down the taxiway.
Okay.
For those of us that might be joining us in this video, we're going out for Brian's first time in an Enstrom helicopter after R-22 and R-44 time. All we've done so far is pick it up off the dolly, a tad bit of hovering, and we started hover taxiing anyway to set down to make a seat adjustment. So you're going to get to hear firsthand what it's like after, how many hours you got altogether?
60.
So 60-hour guy with R22 and R44 time, first time in the Enstrom. So we're just going to make it kind of natural. But I don't want to take away from your training flight, so we're just going to do our normal thing here. So what I would do next is, we're clear on the left. I'd make a right pedal turn.
Okay.
And we'll clear for traffic left and right. Make sure it looks clear. It's very quiet today at the Plymouth Municipal Airport. You'd think it'd be busier than this. And if it doesn't, we don't see anybody coming in. Looks good. Go ahead and start hover taxiing out, and I'll make a call for us.
Okay.
Plymouth Traffic Helicopter 8626 Papa, departing runway 10. Plymouth Traffic. Okay, so just take your time. Like I was telling you earlier, I got the throttle for you, even though I'm not doing anything with it. You have all the controls. I'm going to keep my hand close, but you're flying it. 60 hours, first time in an instrument you're flying it. Feel good?
It feels very good.
That's what I thought you'd say. So we're going to go, warning caution lights are out. In this older aircraft, we only got 2. Those are out. RPM's top of the green. That looks good. Manifold pressure's good. Our EGT is good. You and I discussed the fuel. We know how much fuel's in there because of what I put in it. Radios are set. It's leaned. We're all good. So I want you to show me a normal takeoff the way you've been doing it in the R44.
Okay.
Just do what you would normally do, and I'll take care of any throttle adjustments if we need it.
All right.
If you do this nice and smooth, we won't even need it.
Okay. So normally for me it's about 45 knots, so that's miles per hour, correct? So what?
Yeah.
What would be the?
So you're just off by
higher, right?
1.3. The POH on this one wants you to start climbing around 30, 35.
Okay.
So, and you'll feel ETL, and if you get ready with that trim, when we feel ETL, if you give it a bump forward with the trim, it'll push it right through that ETL, and then if you just keep everything steady, it will give you a 500, it'll give you 60 as you're climbing up. It'll give you 60 on the airspeed, and it'll give you a 500 feet per minute climb. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
Without ever changing the power.
Well, do this.
So just take your time. You can see it's very stable. My hands are close, but you have all the controls. And if we get down low, don't worry. Just keep the nose straight. And if the skids touch, no big deal, because it'll come right back up again. Ooh. There comes ETL. So just give it a little bump of trim.
Okay.
And now you're about your 30, 35. So let it start. You can let it start climbing up.
Okay.
I'm going to roll back the throttle just a hair. We're just not much too high, but just a little bit. So I'm going to roll it back a little. And I'm going to pull up just a little more collective for a little more power. And there, you almost got your 60. And need a little more of a climb, so pull a little more power. We got a lot of fuel on, so it's normally you wouldn't have to pull that much collective. But I'd say you're doing pretty darn good for your first time in an Enstrom helicopter.
Thanks.
First takeoff ever. So we can do left or right traffic, but we should probably do left just because we got more open fields over here. Over there we got more trees, more woods, more houses.
Okay.
So if we do left traffic, we got more open fields to go to. In the case we have some kind of a failure or something.
Okay, clear right.
Clear on the left. So ultimately we could go, because there's no traffic, we could use right or left today. We'll just choose this one because we got more spaces to go. So on downwind, let's shoot for 1,370 on your airspeed, which you almost have already. So whenever you're ready to start your turn, you can start your turn.
Okay, those houses, I was kind of...
Yep, if you want to kind of hook around those, it's just perfect. There's a tree line over there you'll see you can follow for your downwind.
Okay.
So you got your 1,300, you got almost 70. And we got a hair of climb, so now you could maybe go down, just a hair down collective, just a hair, level it out, and now we're on downwind. Got 65, 1,300, top of the green. Right there's your trim ball. We don't have a string, we have a trim ball, so you look here to step on the ball. All right. Halfway through your first pattern in an Enstrom helicopter.
Very cool.
What do you think 5 minutes into it? Or is it too soon? You like it?
I like it. Yeah, it feels more like a big boy helicopter. Oh, I can't say that.
does. Yeah, you can say that. I mean, when I first saw an Enstrom, I'd been training in Schweitzers and Robinsons. The first time I saw one, I'm like, oh, wow, that looks more like a real helicopter. And people are going to get mad at me in a video. But that's what I thought. Because it's bulkier, it's got a bigger cabin, it has more what looks like real controls, so it just has that look and feel of a larger, heavier helicopter.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like it behaves like it. There's more force on the controls, it's very smooth.
Yep.
Excellent. As I'm slowing down and climbing here.
It's okay. Let's go a little farther out, because I've got an area that sets this up for a really nice normal approach, and I'll kind of show you so you'll know kind of what to gauge for.
Okay.
So we'll go a little bit further. I'll make a radio call for us, get that out of the way. From the traffic, helicopter 26 Papa, left downwind for runway 10, from the traffic. Okay, so we only need to lose a couple hundred feet before we start our approach, because I start them at 300 AGL. We're at 1300, I want to be at 11, so we got all kinds of times to descend, so no rush there. Whenever you're ready, we can start a left turn and a little bit of a descent. We're clear on the left.
Okay.
Push a little bit of right pedal in there. It'll make it a little more coordinated feeling. You notice we're not monkeying with the throttle at all.
Yeah.
We could use just a hair more. I'll turn it on just a little for you. Try to keep that minimum of 60. And I'll make another call. From a traffic, helicopter 26 Papa, left base turning final, runway 10, from a traffic. Okay.
Plymouth traffic, guard chapter 24530 is 5 to the east. We'll be maneuvering in an area approximately 2 miles northeast of the field, Plymouth.
Okay, can you see the runway?
I do.
Okay. So let's steer a little bit back to the left.
Okay.
There you go. And can you see those two clumps of really green trees up there?
Yep.
When we get to those, if we come over those about 1100 or 1120 or a little over 1100, that'll set us up for a nice normal approach. It'll take the guesswork out of it for you. So you're only about 100 feet away from there, so you got plenty of time. Your airspeed's good, small descent. We're in trim. RPM's top of the green. We're looking beautiful. We're looking good.
How far was that traffic?
He was 5 miles, and he's going to be maneuvering either north or south of the field. I forget what he said.
No, to me it looks like we're on a normal approach.
Okay, I'd agree with that. Go ahead and fly this angle. Fly this angle the rest of the way down. Show me how you've been trained to do your normal approaches.
Okay. Trim is a little, makes it, I don't know, I like it. It's different.
Like I said, the first couple hours, it takes a little bit to get somebody to use it. At first, they'll just, even if I say it every 3 minutes, I don't know, I guess you're getting, in the beginning, you're getting used to a different feel, different controls, different aircraft, and it usually takes a couple hours to get somebody really using the trim. But I'll demonstrate it for you here after this approach. I wanted you to get the full effect of flying the pattern. You have all the controls, it's all yours. The RPM's just on the low side of the green, which is fine, no problem.
Yeah.
It really makes a big deal out of the throttle. It's not a big deal in the Enstrom.
Huh.
It only takes a little bit of tweaking it if you're flying the aircraft nice and smooth the way it's intended to be flown. I like your approach. Your approach looks really nice. The angle's really, really good. I'd say a thumbs up for your instructors. They taught you a nice approach. I like it. This is probably feeling a little different for you at the end.
Yeah.
I'd trim it forward just a hair. And there we go. All right, I'll take the controls for a second, give you a break.
You have the controls. Thank you.
Let's take a look at just me hovering. Let's see how much I use the trim to keep us in one spot. Keep trimming back. I don't know if it's moving much.
Plymouth traffic, guard chapter 24530, transitioning from east to west, approximately 2 miles north of the field, Plymouth traffic.
Just over the tree line right there.
Okay. Did he say gyrocopter? What did he say?
Guard.
Oh, guard copter.
He's about 10 o'clock right there.
Okay, I see him. All right, you've had a little break. I'll give you the controls back.
All right.
And what I want you to do this time, on the last takeoff, I felt you pull a little bit of up collective, which is okay. A lot of guys do that. I want to do one without adding any collective. I want to keep that collective. I want to simulate your job going for a commercial, and you're taking off with a load of passengers on a hot day, and you've got a big load of fuel. And you're right at your max power setting. You can't pull any more power.
I see.
So just creep forward, what we say, painfully slow. Let's try this entire takeoff without pulling any collective. Warning caution lights are out. Gauges are still in the green. We know we got lots of fuel. EGT is good. And just work on keeping that nose straight. And if we touch, don't worry about it. Let the skids touch, and it'll come right back up again.
The ATL, boy.
There you go.
That is so pronounced in this helicopter.
All right, now you can let her start climbing up.
Okay.
If we can hold that collective there, this will give you 60 and a 500 climb without ever pulling any more power.
Okay. I haven't touched it. Leaving it alone.
Just a good method to use. If you can do it without changing the power during the takeoff, it's always a good thing. Because they tell us the engine's going to quit, most likely to power change. Did you see the interview I did with the young guy at Heli Expo at the Enstrom booth when he talked about his engine failure in the Enstrom? No. He was getting ready for a commercial check ride add-on. Got a bird up there to our left.
Yep, and down below, or that might have been his shadow.
And he was close to check ride, and he was out soloing, and he said he changed the throttle for whatever reason, and when he changed the throttle, it quit.
Oh boy.
And he landed safely, didn't turn nothing up, and the engine just grenaded. It was like, boom, done, over. And he talked about how the smoke came in the cabin, and he vented the doors, and landed, and got out and walked away.
Wow. Left pattern again, or?
Sure, unless you want to,
I'm open.
Do you want to go fly around and just kind of test out the controls?
Whatever you want to do.
What do you feel like doing?
Where was that pinnacle you were talking about?
Okay, it is, let's see, we'll find it. It's right here.
Okay.
That's like the best we got.
Okay.
It ain't big.
I'm going to try to get an orbit, I guess.
Sure. But it is a pinnacle.
Plymouth traffic, Aircraft 24530, clear to the west, Plymouth.
So that, the throttle setting, the RPM setting.
Right now it's right at the top of the green.
Right. Is that where you want it to be normally? You want to keep it in the middle?
Anywhere in the green?
Just anywhere in there.
I usually like it like in the lower part of the green, or about the center, just because its engine's running just a little bit quieter.
Clear left?
But clear on the left. Anywhere in the green is good.
Well, I got pretty far away.
So that's typical. We all do it.
I'm descending quite a bit.
You're flying in a different aircraft with a different view, you know, a different feel.
Age is totally different.
and a different state after driving 200 and some miles to get here today.
Yeah.
So, as I said, this is, we're training, but we're also wanting to have a little bit of fun too. It's about, getting the feel of the aircraft, enjoying, trying something new, trying a different aircraft. Enstrom Helicopter loves these videos, by the way. Of course they do. But I enjoy showing them to people, and it's fun. It's always fun to see somebody come from a Robinson and get into Enstrom, and then, go fly for a little while, and then let them just say, what did they think, I'm going to leave you alone and let you concentrate on your pinnacle.
Well, if you would, I'm not very familiar with what the technique is for pinnacle.
Well, I would do what you're doing, flying around a couple, 3 times, checking it. The wind's coming out of the north, so I would probably take kind of an angled approach into it, knowing that wind is coming right up that, what we'll call a ridge line, and if there's any turbulence from the ground being uneven, it's going to be coming straight that way. So just to avoid turbulence, instead of going directly, because this thing's lining up with the wind pretty much, it's north and south,
yeah.
I'd come at it on an angle just to avoid any turbulence, eddy currents that are rolling over up that hill, and that way we won't feel any of that till we get basically right down almost to the surface area. That would sound reasonable?
Yeah. So from the southwest, Or
I probably, let's see, I would, since you're making a right-hand patterns,
yeah.
I would approach it from the southwest, landing northeast.
Okay. Boy, into the wind, you slow down, start climbing.
Yep.
Or descending. Boy, coming in from the southwest, and you've got those trees there, but you're clear of the highway. It's kind of
right. You got a little. Yeah, coming on an angle too helps keeps clear of some of those obstacles. Makes sense to me. I mean,
yeah.
it seems like the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll back just a little bit of throttle.
Okay.
Just a little bit. So can you see in our 10 minutes or so of flying that the throttle really isn't a big deal?
Yeah.
It's just
I haven't been using it much.
And I haven't done much with it. I try to mention it when I do it so that you mentally get in the cue that, okay, I've just made a small change, but when I change it, and it's not much, it's just a little high or a little low, and I just either add or reduce a little bit of throttle. That's all I'm doing. It don't take much.
I don't like that.
Good call. You want to do southeast versus southwest? You do it whichever way you want.
I like that approach. I was way too steep.
And I was going to say something before you. At first I thought, let's see what he does.
I thought about extending it. I was like, ah!
I am always for go around setup again. If you don't like it, just, you know when you don't like it, right?
Yeah.
If you go ahead and try to force it, it's going to suck. You want to feel good, and I don't care if it takes you 2 or 3 times to get set up to where, okay, this feels good, and then do it. There's nothing wrong with that. People say, well, you know, real world. Well, yeah, I get real world, right? But when it comes to landing, you want to do it right, and you don't want to wreck, and you don't want to get something power or LTE or get obstacles. So when it comes to landing, take as many times as you need to get set up to make a safe landing that feels good.
I'm going to go to the left of this guy's property a little bit.
The key is to take your time, and if you don't like it, don't do it. Looking for traffic left and right.
It's a different engine sound to try to get used to.
Yeah, it's just, it does sound different in here, and I don't know how to explain it other than, you know, exhaust comes out of a different place than what you're used to in a Robinson, so it is a different sound, a totally different sound. Same engine, Lycoming, but because of where the exhaust is placed, it's not far off my, behind my door over here, exiting out the side, where the Robinson, it comes out the back.
Right.
So you're getting a different feel, or a different sound. This definitely looks a lot better.
Oh, it feels a lot better. I'm
going to roll on just a little bit of throttle.
Okay. I'd call that a steep approach.
Yep.
I'm going to go towards the far side of it, I guess.
Okay. And I just come to a hovered over it if you feel good about it. I don't really want to set down because I don't know who actually owns it.
Sure.
I've done it a few times. Nobody's ever complained. I'm assuming it's state highway because it's right beside the highway, but I don't know that. Looking good. We're a little forward cyclic. Nice. What do you think of that?
I think my descent rate was way too fast.
It wasn't too bad. It could have been a little slower. But we're doing good here. We got about 32 inches of manifold pressure. We're good on EGT. So you can pull up to that red line right there at 39.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind when you do your takeoff.
Okay.
Before we go, we want a quick takeoff check. Warning caution lights are out. Gauge is green. All that looks good.
Yep.
And just as you pull power, don't go above that red line. If we hit the red, then we can just, you know, come back down, take another stab at it.
Okay.
Maybe back up a little bit.
I see. We'll just be real slow about it.
There you go. There you go. Pretty good little pinnacle.
Yeah.
It's definitely a pinnacle.
For sure.
Awesome.
Giving the traffic something to look at.
And away we go.
Pretty nice.
Well, you know, the other big thing that always comes up is the auto rotation. You've heard he's heard me talking in the videos, helicopter landing ground school, he's been watching the videos, so he knows I've said what a great auto rotation this is. So let's go around and I'll have you do everything to get us set up.
Okay.
And then I don't have you do it because you got 60 hours getting close to your private. Well, I'll stay with you, okay? Because in the Enstrom, all you have to do is do a nice entry, and you've flown the R-44, so you've flown the helicopter with the higher inertia rotor system versus the low inertia, right?
Yes.
And there's a big difference between R-22 and R-44. This is going to come down more like the fill of the R-44. It's still going to be different fill, but we don't have to slam the collective down like in the R-22.
Good.
So when we enter it, I want to enter about 72 to 75, something like that. Let's use 1500. We'll go around and do that same pattern we did. We'll come back for 10.
Okay.
And I like to enter a little above 70. We'll use 700 AGL, 1500. I like to be in trim, 0 rate of descent. Have everything looking good and feeling good when we enter. And all we're going to do is we'll count it off 1, 2, 3, enter. On enter again, we're not in Robinson. We don't have to slam it down. We can just go nice and smooth, nice gentle push down. And if the needles split, we don't even have to roll any throttle back. But depending on how they're rigged, this one we'll have to take the throttle back just a little bit, enough to make sure that we split the needles so it is a for real auto rotation. Add some right pedal, and then it's just a cross check on the way down. We will have to add a little bit of collective. You and I are bigger guys. We've got a good load of fuel on here, so I'm sure that the RPM is going to rise. But we have time. It's going to be a little slower, definitely slower rise than in the R-22. From the traffic helicopter 26, Papa left base turning final, practice engine failure to the numbers 10. From the traffic. All right, keep that 70.
I'm sorry, did you want to make a left turn or a right turn into it?
Left turn.
Okay, I'm way past.
That's okay. We can still go. We can still shoot it from here. Just line up with the numbers. You know what? We can turn this into kind of like almost like I don't know, about a 45-degree turn.
Yeah.
We can do that. Let's do that.
All right.
Let's keep this airspeed. I'm going to come on with you just a little bit here.
Okay.
I'm going to guess when to enter. Let's go a little bit more forward cyclic just to here, looking good. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, enter. Collective down, right pedal, nice and smooth, just like that. Oh, that was sweet. Here comes the RPM, so let's raise it up just a little bit. Got about 75, which is fine. I'm going to raise a little more collective. Overshooting our spine a little, but that's okay. I just want you to see how cool this maneuver is. So there's treetop level, so I start at gentle. As I get closer, I make it bigger, 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 bigger. We're almost down, level, roll on throttle, raise collective. What do you think of that?
Interesting, I'm watching that. The RPM,
I'll give you the controls.
It's just a different sight picture to look at.
It is different. It's a different sight picture for you than what you're used to in the R-44 and R-22.
It felt excellent coming down.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like, it's almost a non-event.
Yep. It feels more significant in the Robinson when you dump it. You feel that elevator kind of drop.
That was so smooth. That's why I was like, sweet. Oh, so smooth. So freaking smooth. Well, how about 180-degree auto rotation? Are you game?
Okay.
Well, let's keep climbing up a little bit. And the thing I learned over the years with 180s is not to rush it. Take our time, get set up nice. If we mess it up, we won't enter it. We'll do a right 360 and we'll get set up again. If you rush it, it's going to end up sloppy. I'm going to roll back a little bit of throttle. Keep her climbing right on up. Okay, you can start a left turn. We got over 300 AGL. I'm going to make a radio call early, and I'll just make it on downwind that we're doing an engine failure with a 180 turn. Okay, go ahead and turn left, because we're going to be in a little closer than what our normal pattern is.
Okay.
From the traffic helicopter 26 Papa, left downwind. I'll be doing a practice engine failure to the numbers 10, left 180 turn. Hold on. All right, let's get in a little closer. Got 1500, that's good. Keep a minimum of 70. So we know we raised the collective sum in the straight in. We're going to raise it again, even more in the 180. Because we're heavier guys and big load of fuel. I'm going to trim it over a little bit to the left for you. Can you feel it? Did you feel that? Maybe relieve that pressure?
Yep, a little bit.
Isn't it nice?
Yep. I wasn't sure how close to the runway would.
I think this is looking pretty good.
Pretty high.
We got lots of altitude. Time to play in our turn. So I'm going to start counting before we're parallel. I'm going to start about right now. Say 1, 2, 3, enter. So collective down, right pedal, half cyclic. Nice. Good. Start a turn. There comes that RPM. Let's raise it a little bit. Raise a little more. Keep it coming around. Speed's good. Raise a little more. A little more right pedal. Still got 70, looking good. We overshot a little. That's all right. Still looking good. I'm going to get a little more aggressive in this Faleo this time.
Okay.
There's treetops. I'm going to start it gentle, but I'm going to make it bigger, 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 bigger. Get rid of most all that speed. Now level it. Rolling throttle.
Warrior 435A Tango, we are 10 miles.
There we go.
West, and inbound on our runway 10.
I'm going to give you the control. I'm trimming. I'm going to help trim it up for you. I'm going to give you all the controls back.
Okay.
Find yourself in a hover. And tell us about what you think auto rotations in the Enstrom helicopter.
Super smooth coming down. It really doesn't feel like we're in an auto.
It doesn't, does it?
Not at all.
It's a beautiful thing. What do you think about that smooth entry? No gut-wrenching, just smooth.
I keep waiting for that feeling, and it doesn't come.
Doesn't come.
Kind of like we're in a steep descent, and pull right out of it at the bottom, everything's normal.
Enstrom has the bragging rights of one of the best auto rotations there is.
I will agree.
There's no doubt about it. All right. Let's, how about, what was you thinking?
I was wondering how much time we've been up.
If you want, I'll take the controls.
Check my phone.
And you check your phone. I have the controls. We know we started around 4:05.
4:52.
Oh, it's about time to head in then. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's. I'll give you the controls back, and we'll go around and shoot a steep approach into the wind to the ramp. How's that sound?
Okay.
And by that time, we'll have an hour in. We can take a break. And if you want to go out again, we can go out again. Whatever you want to do.
All right, I've got the controls.
Okay, I'm giving you the controls back. So I'm going to shut up and just let you do a normal takeoff without me talking. All yours.
All right.
Warning caution lights are out, gauge is green. I'll do that.
There's that ETL. I haven't touched the collective. It just doesn't need it. It's
Nope. It's a wonderful thing. I'm going to roll back a little bit of throttle. Because what happens after you get through ETL and it gets more efficient, the RPM rises, right? Because it's not working as hard. So a tendency is after you go through ETL, we have to roll back a little because it has become more efficient.
So we'll do a left.
Plymouth traffic, Warrior 4358 Tango is 4 miles. 2 to west inbound, RNAV 10. Plymouth.
Yeah, we'll do left again. We'll listen to this guy and see where.
Yeah.
Well, if we stay north, we can go right to the ramp. We won't interfere with him.
Okay. Right.
From the traffic helicopter 26 Papa entering left downwind for 10. We'll be landing parallel 10. We'll stay clear of the runway, landing to the main ramp from the traffic. So, since we'll just watch and make sure that we get turned in before we cross the center line of the runway. So if you got to go out a little bit more this way to be comfortable to make sure we can get turned in, that's totally fine. This is for fun, remember?
Yeah.
No stress.
I got a little rust on me. It's been a while. How far out was that traffic?
I think he said 5 miles. That's why I just wanted, we can even kind of go, if we go, we can do this. We can go from the northwest landing southeast.
Okay.
Traffic, Warrior 4358 Tango is 2.5 miles 2 to west inbound, RNAV 10, and we'll be watching for that traffic that's in the pattern limit.
He's 2.5 miles now. I can see him.
Yeah.
And traffic approaching Plymouth, we have you in sight. We're going to stay north of the center line so we don't interfere with your approach. Going to the main ramp.
That's affirmative.
A little more right pedal. As an instructor, sometimes you just ride around going, more right pedal. More right pedal.
That's
More right
instructor.
pedal.
What's that string doing? Why is
More
that,
right pedal. People don't want to push the right pedal. They'll push the left pedal, but they don't want to push the right pedal. Just the way that it is. Yeah, he's going to be down by the time we get turned in there anyway, so we'll be just fine. You can start your turn whenever you want.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wanting to see him.
Yep, he's about
I've got him inside.
Okay.
I wanted to see him get clear.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right. Let me know when you got the ramp in sight, and show me a steep approach to the ramp.
I've got the ramp in sight.
Plymouth traffic, wire 4358 Tango is short final 10, touch and go, and then we'll be departing back to the west, Plymouth.
And if any point you decide you don't like it,
Right.
you go around. A little more right pedal.
Yeah.
A little more right pedal.
Almost, it takes a lot, doesn't it?
It does.
This 1,000-foot, try to stay steep, I'm going to call that steep.
That's definitely steep. I personally,
Yeah, it's a bit fast.
I'd go around.
Traffic, wire 4358 Tango is upwind for 08, Plymouth.
Plymouth traffic, helicopter 26 Papa's going around. Left traffic for the main ramp. Plymouth traffic.
Okay, a lot of rust. A lot.
It's okay.
Plymouth traffic, wire 4358 Tango, left crossway, runway 10, Plymouth traffic.
Got 300, I'm going to start.
Okay.
I think, what do you think? I was just too fast.
Yep, way too fast. Yep.
Lots of speed.
Yep.
Plymouth traffic, wire 4358 Tango, left downway, runway 10, Plymouth traffic.
I am like, I'll give you an example. When I was EMS pilot at the last base I worked at, the main one hospital that we went to.
Plymouth traffic, wire 4358 Tango, leave traffic pattern, fly to the west, Plymouth traffic.
More. I don't know what that was. The one hospital I went more than anywhere, the security guy's like, I know who all of you are by the way you guys approach. And I said, who's the slowest? And he goes, you. I mean, he's like, hands down. I always know for sure. He goes, the other guys I'm not so sure, but you I know because you're going so slow. And I'm like, thank you. Yeah, that's how I do it. Slow, 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 and slow.
We'll try to make that look better.
Especially into a steep approach. Let's get a little airspeed going now. Get a little forward cyclic in there, pick that back up. Just in case the engine fails, we want that 60. Until we really start flying your approach. Then slow her down all you want. It's definitely better. You got a little more time here. I'd get a descent going now so that you don't have to dump it later. And now being slower is okay because we're basically starting our steep approach almost now. This is much better.
Yes.
This is much better.
It's 70 at this point still.
Yeah, this is much better. And just remember this scenario. If you were doing that on a check ride, I know the examiner would be getting nervous going, whoa, this guy's going a little fast. I'll roll on a little bit of throttle for you.
Okay.
Yep, and you're doing good. Don't be afraid to slow her down because we want to get that rated descent below 30.
That's what I'm looking at.
Or below 300 before we get below 30. And up here we still have the wind. We get down to tree level, we're going to lose that airspeed. So if you keep it below 300, and we do have some wires here. Can you see those poles?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all we got to worry about is those wires there.
Okay.
Yep, looking good. Ready to descent 200 feet per minute. Looking good, looking good. Just take your time. Yep. Looking good. Much better. That person
knows what he means.
He knows what he means, exactly. Oh my God, that's too funny. All right, I'm going to come on with you and help you get down here to the ground. And I say we go to the Dolly. What do you think?
I think that sounds great.
So I'm going to get loose on the controls. You have them. And let's make a right-hand turn, tail clear left. And if you would, let's go to, well, you know what? Stop right here. Let's go that way and then kind of go out, and then we'll approach the Dolly from the south going north.
Okay.
So while you were wrapping up your very first flight in an Enstrom helicopter, what do you have to say? What are your thoughts?
That I'm sweating a lot.
Anything that comes to mind.
Oh my gosh. It feels like I've got a little turbine time. It feels like we're in a 206.
Nice.
Honestly.
Nice.
Clear left?
Clear on the left. Enstrom has a turbine too, by the way. It's called a 480.
Really?
Oh my God, and it's a neat aircraft too. All right, you stop here. Now I know I asked you this at the beginning. I forget. Do you land on a dolly? No.
Not.
Okay. So clear on the left, make a right-hand turn. I'll do the dolly landing since you've never done one. Well, actually, I'll talk you through it if you want me to.
You can try that.
What the thought process is. I'll let you hover taxi a little up there a little farther, and then I'll take over. In case later you start flying somewhere where you land on a dolly, which probably will happen, I'm going to show you what was taught to me early on that's made the difference for me. I'm going to go ahead and take the controls.
You have the controls?
I have the controls. And the old timer taught me, come up here and start back a few feet from the dolly. And when you have a nice hover going, to slowly hover forward and descend, moving towards the dolly the whole time. Because if people, when they try to come up like this, it's hard to see the dolly, right? And then you're kind of guessing as you're coming down. So what he taught me is you can keep it more in your vision, right? If you're starting back here, you're keeping it more of where you can see it. And I'm going to use my peripheral. I don't want to stare at it because that'll mess me up. But the idea is to come in, move down, come in, move down, come in, move down, and just keep doing that, keep doing that. I'm looking outside, I'm cheating, looking at the ground a little bit. I'm almost there, and I am down. Not the straightest I've ever parked, but I'm down. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm going to leave it alone.
Okay.
Anytime you land a helicopter, don't try to reposition it to make it pretty for everybody else. Because there's guys that's rolled them over because they didn't like their landing. They wanted to fix it so nobody would give them a hard time about how they left the helicopter parked, and then they rolled over because they were trying to move it. Okay, I'm going to reach down and lock the collective. It's a 1 minute cool down. So we got an all Robinson trait. Whenever I take my hand off the collective, I'll move my left leg over there, so if the collective comes up, my leg will help catch it. Collective down, friction on, I did that. Cyclic in neutral, yep. Pedals in neutral, yep. Throttle reduced to 2,000, I did. Probably been darn near a minute already. After 1 minute, we can reduce to 1,500. Let's engage the clutch. Idle for 2 minutes or until we're below 300 on the cylinder temperature, which we're going to get there quick because it's a cool day. Radio's off, boost pump off, control off, all switches off, blah, blah, blah. All the normal shutdown stuff. So I'm sure that's been more of a minute, so now I'm going to go throttle completely off. Add a little right pedal, I want to do that. Pedals back to neutral. Now I'm going to pull this thing up, click it down, and now I'm going to move it forward. It's going to pop. Now, there's a catch right here. See, the engine just rose because it's disengaged now. The catch is here, so we just pull it out gently and let it go to the floor. So V touching the floor is disengaged. Look down here, we're right at 300. I'm going to let it run just another minute or so because this is my buddy's baby. We treat it, you know, very nice. We're very, very nice to it. Even though, and these things are tough. These are tough helicopters. And I say that from the time and the years I've got flying them. I've done some dumb stuff where I've hit the ground kind of hard. And they will take a beating.
Those shock absorbers, no problem.
The oleo struts help absorb. You're right. When they with those struts, it helps absorb some of that energy when you hit the ground harder than what you would like to.
Had a little bit of a scare doing a shallow approach to run on landing. Once we touched down the Peoria Airport, hit a rough spot in the runway. We were straight, everything, it was good, but you hit that unexpectedly. Ooh.
Yep.
Good thing to have everything nice and straight.
Yep.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Put your comments down below. Give us a like. Subscribe. Click the little bell. And we will see you tomorrow in day 83. Peace out.
See ya.
Nice. Hell yeah. Bleep, yeah. I might even leave that one in one time. Hey, and P.S. Our private pilot monthly is only 20. Whoops. P.S. Our private pilot membership is only $49 a month. Go below, click helicopterground.com. You get a 24-hour test flight. And it also comes with a 30-day money-back, no-hassle guarantee. Took me a lot of years to start having fun doing this.